Randy Patterson here again with Boomerocity. And this episode, I have another fun one for you. You know me, I love turning you on to people who you might not hear of or about otherwise. And this is one of those times. An amazing blues artist by the name of Leanne Binder. And wow. You're really going to love her if you love the blues. And maybe even if you don't love the blues, I think you really love her sound. We had a fun little chat about her new EP and the music and what she's all about, her background, how she goes about making her music. A lot of fun. Mark my words, you'll be hearing much more about her in the years to come. So follow her now, and you can say you knew her when. And as always, I always ask you this, so you should know it by now. But if in case this is the first time you've heard a Boomerocity interview, I always ask, would you mind hitting like, especially if you like the interview? And if you're not a subscriber, please hit subscribe on whatever platform you're catching this on. It shouldn't be costing you anything, but it sure helps us out a lot. And by all means, please share the interviews you like with friends who you think might like them also. So without any further ado, here's my first of what I am sure will be many more interviews to come with Leanne Binder. Until next time, this is Randy Patterson with Boomerocity. Take care. Well, hello, Leanne.
Hi, how are you?
I am doing great.
Thank you so much.
I love that hutch back behind you, man. That is
Oh,
really
thanks. Yeah, I am.
Go ahead.
I'm at a friend's house. I live way out in the country, and sometimes our internet can get a little squirrely. So I called my best friend up and asked her if I could borrow her house.
I love it.
Come
Well,
on over.
I can relate. I live up in the Smoky Mountains, and I don't know if you're old enough to remember the old TV show Green Acres, where Oliver Wendell Douglas had to climb up a pole to make a phone call, and it almost feels like that here. So
Yeah.
I'm within earshot of Dollywood, so that kind of gives you an idea of where I'm at. So
Oh, nice.
yeah, I love it. But and you're up in Upper Ohio, is that correct?
I live like about 9 miles from Pennsylvania, the Pennsylvania border.
Oh wow.
I'm
Okay.
I'm closer to Pittsburgh than Cleveland. I live in Youngstown, so it's I'm between Pittsburgh and Youngstown, or Pittsburgh and Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
So
Very cool.
I'm very, very close to Pennsylvania and about an hour and 20 minutes south of Pittsburgh or Cleveland.
Gosh, some of my favorite guitarists and artists are from Ohio, and Youngstown especially was Christian artist by the name of Phil Kagi,
Oh
amazing
yeah, I
guitar
know.
player.
Yeah, I know Phil. I actually used to teach his niece voice lessons.
Is that right? I'll be
Yeah.
darned. How cool.
Yeah.
How cool. Gosh, last time I watched him perform was just before COVID shut everything down. I was working in Nashville, and he was doing a house concert uh, for an outfit, a charity that does that they work with freeing people that are in human trafficking and that type
Oh,
of
okay.
thing. And so he was doing a house concert there, and I got to interview him by phone a little while after that. But gosh, I've been following him for almost 50 years now, and
Yeah. He's amazing. People love him where I come from. Like he's a legend where I come from, and always so nice. He was in a band called Glass Harp.
yep, yep.
Um, so I know John Safera, the drummer,
Oh
real well. And
wow, very cool.
I've worked with him. And Youngstown has a pocket of really, really amazing musicians. I don't know if it's that we didn't have anything else to do, but like drink and play guitars and sing. Because there's not a
Hey,
whole lot to
that's
do up here.
I think it was the same here in the hills of Tennessee. So,
Yeah, yeah.
but and then where was it that Joe Walsh and Rick Derringer were from? Were they in the same area or elsewhere?
Yeah, they're from like Akron,
Okay, okay,
which is
gotcha.
about 45 minutes away. Kent, like, because Kent, Kent State, where
Yeah,
Buffalo,
yeah.
Springfield, the whole, that's only, that's probably about a 35, 40-minute drive from my house.
Gotcha. Wow. So you're in
So
that whole historic area of both culture and music. So very
yeah,
cool.
it really, really is. And people still they love their music up here. You know, it's
Hmm.
just it's woven into the fabric of who everybody is.
Yeah. Well, I love what comes out of there. And when John sent me your the information on your new song, I wrote him back and said, I love what I hear. I want to talk to her. So
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
so for um for artists, I mean for fans and potential future fans, um what would you like my viewers and listeners, as well as any new fans that might be coming along, to know about you and your music?
Well, I've been a musician my whole life. Uh, I've I've had some ups and downs. Like the rock and roll stories are true. You know, you're close to deals and they fall apart. Um, I started at about the age of 12 singing opera when
What
and I got accepted
why'd
into,
you wait so long? Why'd you wait
I
so
know,
long?
I'm a slacker. I just wouldn't shut up. So my mom and dad had the foresight to take me down to Dana School of Music at Youngstown State, which was a
Hmm.
renowned, they did a lot of jazz and that kind of stuff. And they heard me sing and picked me up. And I studied with Mrs. Raridan until I left for college. At college, they blew my voice out. I was probably a little too young. I was 17 my freshman year of college, because I skipped a year of school when I was younger. And they just pushed the power that I had way too hard. By my second year, Mrs. Raridan called my mom. I came home for my voice lessons through the summer, and they said, you know, I can't promise you I can save her voice, but if you leave her there, she'll never sing again.
Wow.
So I dropped out of college, came back to Mrs. Raridan, and that's when I really fell in. By that time, I was a whopping 18 years old. Uh, and that's where I really fell into blues and rock and soul kind of music. And I was just trying to find my way out and back to whatever this voice was going to be, um, through all of, this stuff that had happened to it. Luckily, I have a really big mouth. The voice wasn't permanently damaged. I just needed to kind of rework my technique that they had disheveled. And the rest is I got in with, my first big working band was a band that was signed in the 70s and 80s. They were called Left End.
Hmm.
And the singer had left the band and they were looking to keep something going. And uh, I got the job as the young girl in the band and I played keyboards and sax and, you know, and that kind of gave me a foot in. They got me signed up with BMI and they kind of taught me the ropes a little bit about what to do. And I had already started writing music by that time.
Hmm.
And I think so. I think the takeaway through all of that story is, you know, everything happens in rock and roll and in music, and it's tough and it's hard. But at the end of the day, I never questioned whether I was supposed to be a musician.
Hmm.
I think if you have to question it, probably shouldn't do it.
Probably shouldn't be in it, right?
Yeah, because it's hard and the ups are real up and the downs are real down. As I've gotten older, I try to ride that, like we'll see. Yes, let's do the work. I still love and I'm impassioned by the work of all of it. So that's always a good thing for me. Um, and just you're never there shouldn't be an age limit on music or dreams or creating. And I just am a big believer in that. I just think if you have it in you, you should do it no matter what.
I'm guessing you might be an October baby, are you not?
I'm a November baby. I just
November.
had a
Oh, okay.
birthday.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm an October baby. So when you said you skipped a year or something like that, Mom had me in first grade before I was 6, but cause of my birth date, and so I heard
Yeah.
all the comments about being the baby in the group and that type of thing.
Yeah, it was even my birthday was November 8th. So it just flew past us here. And Yeah, I was 5 when I was in first grade till November. So it made that weird. I never went to kindergarten. They just put me in first grade.
Ah, well, I did go to kindergarten, but yeah,
See, you're
I
lucky.
kind of, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I might have been, they may not have been, but, but yeah, I get it. I think it's a pro and con. I mean, I wouldn't change anything, but I do think there are, there's some downsides to being put in. You have to push
Yeah.
harder, but then I think at least for guys, I think there's a maturity thing that gets thwarted a little bit, and that can affect you downstream for at least a while. And
Yeah,
hopefully,
I agree.
yeah.
I think for girls too. I mean, there's just things that you're just not, oh, there was no way I was going to start dating when my friends started to date. Like my dad was like, absolutely, that's not going to happen.
And he was probably wise to do so.
Yes, he was.
Yep, yep. So you got out of opera, and I wouldn't know too many operatic singers, Pavarotti, of course, people like that. But
The
so
maestro, yes.
and so maybe some names that I would know in rock and blues. Who were your earliest musical influences in those genres?
Okay, it happened very innately for me. As a young girl and coming up being where I was being schooled and in the, in the conservatories and stuff, Freddie Mercury was just
Ah, yeah.
like it made this wee little like redheaded freckle-faced girl. I'm like, "Oh, who's this guy?" And listen to all the notes and it so I immediately had something in common with him.
Hmm.
Um and I still he's one of my favorite singers forever. Like he just was such a gift. But when I heard Robert Plant,
Ah,
when I
yeah.
heard Zeppelin for the first time, I'm like, I want to be Robert Plant. Like,
Don't
I
we
just,
all?
yeah, right. I mean, I loved him. And then as I got just a little bit older, my heart started getting broken a couple of times. Um, I fell into Janis Joplin.
Yeah.
And Janis was hard for me and really important for me because coming from when you come from a schooled background and I had played in the symphony, I played clarinet, so I was a very classically driven, perfection was a very important thing drilled into me as a young girl. Rock and roll isn't about being perfect, and the blues is certainly not about being perfect. It's
Mm-mm.
all about the feel. And that was a lesson that Janice taught me. Was that I always say Janice taught me how to bleed on a microphone.
Mm. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
she taught me how to channel all that hurt or happiness or whatever and just run at it and don't worry about you got to get out of your head and let all the technique and all of that stuff, it's just got to go to another place and you just have to stand in the moment and sing, and that's really what Joplin did for me. Like
One of
she
my
gave
first
me a way to do that.
one of my first interviews I did once I launched Boomerocity, going on 17 years ago, was Sam Andrew from Big Brother and the Holding Company.
Uh-huh.
I had some great conversations with him, but don't you think though? I talked to some other people who have had symphonic and Broadway
Hmm.
backgrounds and training. Do you not think though that there is a benefit to bring that inclination towards precision? Maybe it's more of the discipline of it than the precision that you can bring to the genre. That, I mean, because all you got to do is look at like Joe Bonamassa. I talk about him a lot, but when you match up his various solos from a particular song from one gig to the next, they're within 2 seconds of each other.
Hmm.
There's an appreciation for that, and I think whether people realize it or not, I think maybe what you bring to the table or to the stage, so to speak, is a discipline that is maybe understated or not readily recognizable to the casual listener.
Yeah, I think what having that kind of a classical background or technique work does is it makes you consistent. It
Yeah.
makes your talent consistent. I think that's a really big thing with players is that you can get on stage every night and be consistent with either the scales you're working, the notes you hit, and that I think does come from that kind of constant, you're working your scales, you're doing your breath work, you're doing kind of that monotonous stuff that I have students also that I make them do that. It is part of growing consistency. So
Yep.
yeah, I think everyone should study to some degree. I think it just makes you a better player.
Well, and also you talked about the exercises and such. I mean, the I think a lot of rock singers don't really appreciate or even have knowledge of that. I mean, how many times have we heard of people stripping their vocal cords out?
Oh yeah, they blow
You
their
know,
voice out.
yeah, yeah, big time.
I work in Nashville, part-time. I write and record and do everything down there, but part of like this little extra thing is my name got around that I was coaching vocals, and
Hmm.
people started calling my producer and saying, "Hey, can, we maybe hook up with a lesson with Leanne?" And there's so much stuff to keep vocal health while you're out on the road that a lot of people just are not taught. And it's because it comes from opera. It comes from a really classical breathwork place, but
Hmm.
it does. I truly believe it keeps you healthy and working well into your, as far as you want to sing, really.
Yep. Johnny Lang, I remember one time my cousin and I were catching one of his shows here in Knoxville, and the road manager said, "Yeah, come backstage or come up to the stage after the show." So we did. And he said, "All right, you got to wait about 10 or 15 minutes. He's doing his warm down on his
Oh,
voice." And I thought, of course, I
yeah.
was in choir in high school and such, but I've never been much of a singer, performer, musician, or anything. I just appreciated those of you who are. But again, taking care of yourself, being a good steward of those God-given gifts, they've got to be cherished and they got to be maintained.
Yeah, vocal health is a thing. I mean, I think it's different than for guitar players or bass players or drummers. I mean, you can have a cold and you can go on and play. When you're fighting, you know, health issues or something and you have to go on and sing, you have to have some technique underneath you to help you get through a show because you really don't want to cancel shows, especially when they're ticket, you know, people are buying actual tickets to it. It's not just a pay at the door thing. Um, and that can be tough. And, sleep, water, um, and sleep. And, try not to be an idiot.
Boy, I know some artists that really need to hear that last one there.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
so, how would you describe your style to someone who hasn't heard you yet?
Well, I think my style, I got a whole lot of whiskey in me, a little bit of soul, a whole
Hmm.
bunch of blues. Um, I think I write songs that have lyrical content that means something. I like a big hook, I like a big chorus. And then I like really intimate moments in songs too. But I love a good money note. I got to tell
Hmm.
you, like one big note. Yeah, I'm that girl. I can't even help it. I'm like the immigrant song, you
Oh
know.
yeah, yeah. Do you write from, speaking of your songwriting, do you write from life? Do you write from imagination or a blend of both?
You know, it is a blend of both for me. Sometimes it's really weird. Sometimes I'm writing about something and it's just like a story that I'm kind of like, or I'll watch something or see something on TV that kind of triggers like this great thought. And then I get the song done and I realize that internally I'm writing something about some part of myself too. I think I creep into all of it on different levels, whether I'm sitting down and I'm going to write, this is about, that son of a gun that did me wrong, blah, 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 and I'm gonna write that song. Or it's just a fun song, but then there's lyrical content that I bring in and I'm like, wow, I didn't realize that I was, being cathartic and purging some stuff even while I was writing that. So
Hmm.
it happens all the time. I try not to interrupt whatever the freeway is of creativity that runs above my head. And if it strikes, I just am very grateful that I got to hold the pen and I have my guitar ready for it.
I don't know how it is for you, but I do a little bit of creative writing, but for me, it's more of reflection and, observation. So mine
Hmm.
comes from life more than imagination. But I have found for me personally, if I say, all right, I got to sit down and write something, and I got to just kind of like, you know, do it as opposed to feel it, it's
Yeah.
crap. It's absolute crap. And I read it and I think, no, nobody's going to see this. Or if I do put it out there, I regret it. And do you find the same way with songwriting?
I do. And that's not how Nashville works. Like you set up like rights. Like, oh, we're gonna have a right. And people
Hmm.
bring ideas. Now, some people I've learned different people process differently, and it's all about who's in the right with you and the energy. Because I Got Something to Say was the last song on the album.
Hmm.
Was never meant to be born. And I had a write in Nashville with my producer Lee and with Rick Monroe. And this song fell out, and we all looked at each other. I'm like, son of a gun, call the guys. If they can come in, we're going to cut it. Because I wanted that it's kind of a little of a bop. It's not so heavy as some of the other stuff. And I wanted that for the album. But
Hmm.
most of my stuff has been written either in my bed, like I have a guitar that sits on my wall that I can grab, and I'll just sit and tinker around with it, and something will come out. Or like Drinking Stars was a complete accident. I had a completely other song ready. Flew into Nashville. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. I had all my stuff. I was so prepared. And my producer's like, Leanne, we can't cut this other song. And I go, well, why? And he's in the industry down there, so he can hear things sometimes before other people. He goes, Miley Cyrus has a song called Flowers that that is out, that's just starting to do something, and it sounds too much like it's too
Oh
close.
man.
I
Yeah.
was like, I wrote a hit. So I was scared. I'm like, oh crap. Now what do I do? Because I have all the guys are coming in. I've, held them because I love my guys. And Lee grabbed a guitar and he hit an E minor chord, going, jong, 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 jong. And Drinking Stars fell out in a matter of 10 minutes. The whole
Wow.
song. Yeah.
On average, would you call yourself a late night writer, a notebook carrier, or a voice memos person when it comes to songwriting?
Well, I am guilty of every single one. I am I am a late night writer because usually that's by the time I get home from gigs or whatever, it's late and I wind down a little bit with just some thoughts and stuff like that. I carry a note. I like pencil to paper.
Yeah.
There's something that feels right about that to me. Although I'm forced, in Nashville, everybody's got their, Google work docs and stuff, which,
Collaboration tools. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I do that. I have been known to grab my phone in the middle of the night and hit voice memo and sing into it, like something that I've heard in my dream or something that I didn't want to lose. I keep notes everywhere, napkins, notes in my phone. It just depends. I try to be a very aware songwriter. I went to the movies the other night with my friend. This is her house. And I heard a line in the movie and I put my coat over me and I grab my phone and I'm typing in the dark the line because I wanted that the thought of that line was inspirational to me. So I'm crazy.
No, you're not. I do the same thing. I'll be working, editing, and I'll have something like there was a few episodes ago on Poldark. I started watching, binge watching that, and there was a line about love that was, we've heard something similar before, but it talks about everybody. Essentially, it was a slight twist on the phrase "everybody wants to love and be loved." But I
Hmm.
loved how they articulated it. So I stopped what I was doing, hit rewind, a few squares back, and wrote it down. I mean, I'm not a songwriter. I wasn't going to write a piece about it. I just liked that line, and I put it out on Facebook because I wanted everybody else to hear it and like it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah. I do it all the time. Because the more you water that muscle in yourself to be aware, be cognizant of the words that are flying around you, the more you find the diamonds in the rough.
oh yeah, yeah, yep.
So, all of
Yeah,
the
it's all
above.
fun. It's all
Uh-huh.
fun. You gotta work that creative muscle.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
it's something that should be done. Like you have got to work it. You're absolutely right.
mhm. Are there any artists, either legendary, living, or not, the full spectrum, that you'd like to work with? Who would they be?
I would love to work with Brandy Carlisle.
Really interesting.
Yeah. Um, I I would love to work with her. I cover her song The Story. Um, and have for years and years. I think it would be interesting to work with her. I would love to work with Robert Plant just
Mm,
because it's Robert Plant. I would love to work with Bruce Springsteen.
yeah.
I just, the first time I saw Springsteen, I walked out of the show and I thought I should never do this again because I don't, I don't know how he does that. And it became a mission as a young girl. So I'm like, I am going to figure out how to bring that rock and roll, gospel, down to the river stuff. And it is still my favorite. I just saw his last tour again because the feeling, the energy that is brought into that place is amazing. I can't write as many words as him because I don't think I could remember all of them, to be honest with you. He's got a lot of words, but I would love to work with him. I think it would be so much fun.
Yeah.
Um, Johnny Cash is dead, but I love Johnny Cash. And that would have been something to sit at the foot of Johnny Cash and listen to that kind of stuff. Joplin, I think it would be fun. I don't know what it would be like to work with her because sometimes it was so volatile,
Yeah.
with her lifestyle and stuff that might have made me crazy or made me start a
There's
really bad habit.
just one.
Right? Right?
Well, there's still a couple of the band members from Big Brother and the Holding Company who are still alive. Sam died several years ago, but
Yeah.
gosh, there's oh, their names are slipping my mind, but I mean, it would be kind of cool for the like on one of your albums if you did one of her songs and had them contribute to it on their parts. That would be, I think that would be, I think that would be a mile marker for you.
That's an interesting. I actually have never thought of actually reaching out to a couple of the guys. Um, I have covered Piece of My Heart when I was very young. There is a recording of it somewhere floating around. Um,
Melissa Etheridge does a great version of that too.
yeah,
Phew,
yeah.
man.
I love Etheridge too. She would be another one that would be fun
Oh
to
yeah,
work with.
yeah.
Um, I really like, there's this song that Janice does called Little Girl Blue
Hmm.
that I really like, but some of it's so sad. Like it's
Yeah.
just, I've done Move Over, I've done Cry Baby, I've done a lot of Joplin in through the years.
Do you find that that's a challenge in doing those and going back to what we were talking about earlier about maintaining your voice? I mean, is there a different discipline you have to exercise to do those songs and not blow your vocal cords out?
Absolutely. And I think that that's one of the things that I got very, very good at because you have got to learn how to use vocal fry, it's called, or whiskey. Like I can put whiskey in and take whiskey out, even though the older I get, it's a little gravelier than it was when I was, in my 20s.
Hmm.
But I swear by that classical technique because I did a lot of Joplin. I mean, we were at one time almost like a little bit of a Joplin tribute band.
Wow.
Like I would do a lot of Joplin. And it's a matter of, and what people don't understand, just because Janice sings in A doesn't mean I can't sing it in G.
That's right.
You have to singers should find keys that work for them. If you're stretching the top of wherever you're living and you're doing that and you're not hitting it well and it's always a grind, you are going to have a problem.
Yeah.
So drop it a half a step. There is no shame in the game. Everybody sings, the more you study, the bigger your range is, but sopranos are never going to be basses.
Right.
So don't try to be.
And vice versa. Yeah.
Right, right. And basses are never going to be tenors.
Oh, there's always falsetto,
This is true. And you can build a very strong one.
That's what if I'm in the car alone and you mentioned Freddie Mercury, and if I'm, you know, doing, uh, never mind any of his songs. I mean, it's like the guy was just from another world, and that range was just,
He studied a
one
lot of
vision
opera,
was the
though.
one I was thinking. Yeah, he did. I mean, gosh.
Yeah,
And to bring opera to rock, wow, that was
it was
genius.
genius. It was
Yep,
genius. You know,
absolutely.
um, there's another guy out. There's a band, a power trio from Canada called Triumph.
Yeah, yeah,
And I'm a huge Rick Emmett fan.
yeah.
And I saw Rick solo acoustic in Pittsburgh, and he still did Magic Power, all the notes. And he is not a young man. It was just tears. I was just like, oh, he was so good. So good.
Yeah, he's amazing. Where do you see your music going in the next few years? Are there any dream milestones that you have in your plan as what you're striving for and hope to hit?
You know, yeah, this album is doing well for me, this EP, and I think I finally found a good merge of rock and blues that feels very genuine to who I am. I always lean into that rock and roll, even though considered a blues singer. I am a blues rock girl. Like that's the mix. Um, I would like to see the album to continue to build momentum. I'm in the studio already. I just tracked my first two songs for the next album.
All right.
And we're gonna do a full release. It's too early to say if it'll be 26 or 27, just because of, you know, how life works. It's just hard to plan when you're just only laid the first two songs. I'd
Right.
like to get in something maybe fall of 26. If not, we'll wait till after Christmas because, there's just it's kind of a dead zone when
Yeah.
all the Christmas stuff is being hit.
Yep. Yep.
Um, I would like to see I've worked at in New Orleans at the Rhythm and Blues Festival, Jazz Fest in New Orleans.
Hmm.
And I've always been a hired gun. It would be great to have a slot on the blues stage under my own name, finally,
Hmm.
maybe one year.
Hmm.
That would be phenomenal. Uh, I don't know if signing with a deal would be, something that I would look into with a label that could help me maybe run some things. I'm doing everything a lot on my own, and
Yeah.
I need the team around me. So that's how all of this kind of started, is I just you could feel the momentum bringing. So I hope to just keep building on that and creating more songs and maybe get some big blues festivals, out of the mix of everything. And see you again.
Well, I hope that happens. I know
Yeah.
that from the publicity side, you've got some great ones behind you there. John's amazing. He's tied in with Bonamassa and his team, so there's a possibility. There's another There's another
opened for
blues
Joe.
label. Do you really?
Yes. It was so long ago. He was just coming up in the ranks. We were both at this little seedy bar in Struthers, Ohio, called The Cellar. And I got a call, and they're like, we would like you to open for Bonamassa. And I'm like, great. And honest to God, I think he drove in and he had a bumper duct taped on his van. Like it was before, and then within a year, it kind of like he broke, but he had not broken yet, and he was on fire.
Mm-hmm.
The boy was on fire. I'm like, holy. So yeah, I would love to work with, Bonamassa. Beth Hart would be fun to work with, I think.
Beth Hart,
Tedeschi, Susan Tedeschi.
Oh, yeah.
I would love to sing next to Susan's voice. That would be so much fun. There's a girl, Joanna Shaw Taylor, who I really like
her.
a lot. And I've not met her. I've not seen her live, but ZZ Ward.
Yeah.
So there's some girls out there that I would love to work with. Call me.
Well, like I said, you're in the right lane, in the right circles there. And, Mike Zito has a blues label and, some great artists there. So, I mean, I think there's some avenues there for you that can help you achieve those goals and to get you more known. And, I mean, the encouragement I would give you for whatever it's worth is follow Joe's business model, though, because he owns everything from soup to nuts, and that's great for you in the long run. And
that's what I'm really glad that I have John around me. Like, he's been really beneficial, and this all happened just word of mouth, and somebody said, I think you should hear this girl. She's got this EP, and it's just kind of by the grace of God, it's all kind of lined up. And I just keep being very grateful, and I appreciate the time that you took to meet with me and throw my name out into the world. It means a lot to me, truly.
Well, I look forward to seeing you get, go higher up in your career, and I can say, hey, I knew her when. So
remember, I'll be like, remember when I was sitting in my friend's house?
Right.
Because I didn't have good internet.
You're there, either of us. So, well, Leanne, this is a lot of fun. I appreciate you making that extra effort to make this happen. And let's not be strangers here. I look forward to the next release. If you got anything else going on big, have John tap my shoulder, and we will get one of these together and make it happen. And if you get down this way into East Tennessee, or if I'm up your neck of the woods, let's definitely connect and hug each other's neck. And I look forward to watching you live, So.
Oh, that would be wonderful. I'm in and out of Nashville almost monthly. So I don't know how far you are from there, but
just
I may be
hours
scooting down through the Carolinas over the winter to do a couple of shows. So, we'll stay in touch, and I would love that hug. That would be would be amazing. I sure would.
Well, the Carolinas are just on the other side of the hill from me, so to speak. So that could definitely happen. So I'll keep an eye on your itinerary, and if you're near anywhere I can get to, we'll make it happen.
Sounds like a plan.
All right, Leanne, stay safe, stay healthy, keep those vocal cords great, and we'll talk again soon.
Thank you so very much. We'll see you again.
And take care.
Bye-bye.
This has been another fun-filled episode of Boomerocity with your host and producer, Randy Patterson. The theme song is Roll the Dice and is recorded and used by permission from Quinton Hope. Quinton is spelled Quinten, and Hope is Hope. And you can find out more about Quinton at quintonhope.com. Post-production is done by Cardinal Sins Productions. The Boomerocity name, logo, and content is copyright protected. Segments may only be used with written permission by Boomerocity and or its assignees. Inquiries should be directed to input@boomerocity.com. Copyright 2025.